Hello friends, I'm back with an interesting topic which is about understanding adaptation in polar animals. Do you know what is adaptation? An adaptation is an physical or behavioral trait that helps a living thing survive and reproduce in its environment. If a species cannot adapt to its changes in its habitat, it may become extinct. Adaptation develop over hundreds or thousands of years through evolution. There are three main types of adaptation: structural adaptation, behavioral adaptation, psychological adaptation. Structural adaptation, physical features of an organism's body, example sharp claws, thick fur. Behavioral adaptation, things organisms do to survive, example migrating south for the winter. Psychological adaptations, internal body process, example a snake producing venom or a mammal sweating to cool down. Next, we have polar regions surviving extreme cold. Polar habitats like the Arctic and the Antarctica are freezing, windy, and covered in snow and ice. Food is scarce for much of the year. Animals here must adapt to conserve heat and find food for the frozen waters. The polar bear and the Arctic epic predator. Polar bears are perfectly engineered for life on the frozen Arctic Sea. Polar bear adaptation: white fur, blubber layer, black skin. White fur camouflage, blubber layer in solution, black skin will absorb heat. Thick fur and blubber layer. Polar bears have two layers of fur and a thick layer of fat called a blubber up to 11 centimeters thick. This keeps them warm in the freezing air and water. Transparent fur, their fur is not actually white. It is hollow and clear. It reflects light, making them look white to blend into snow. This camouflage helps them sneak up on prey like seals. Black skin underneath all that fur. A polar bear skin is a pitch black. This black skin absorbs heat from the sun to keep the bear warm. Large webbed paws. Their paws are giant, up to 30 centimeters wide, to act like snowshoes, spreading out their weight so they do not fall through thin ice. The paws are slightly webbed to help them swim through icy water. Next, we have the emperor penguin Arctic teamwork. The emperor penguin live in the Antarctica, the coldest place on the earth. They cannot fly, so their adaptations are built for swimming and freezing temperatures. Waterproof feathers. Their feathers are short, stiff, and packed tightly together like scales. They coat their feathers in a special oil from a gland near their tail to make them completely waterproof. Scale-like wings. Their wings have evolved into a stiff flat flippers, allow the allowed them to fly through the water to hunt fish and squid. Behavioral huddling. To survive deadly blizzards, thousands of penguins packed tightly together in a giant circle that is called a huddle. They take turns standing on the freezing outside edge and moving in the warm center. Next, we have the desert animals surviving extreme heat and drought. Deserts are the exact opposite of the polar region. They are extremely hot during the day, cold at night, and get very little rain. Food and water are hard to find. The dromedary camel, the ship of the desert. Camels are famous for living in hot deserts for weeks without drinking water. They do this through incredible feature: large hump, wide leathery feet, long eyelashes, teeth like nostrils. Surviving purpose: stores fat, not water, to use for energy later. Prevents sinking into loose desert sand. Double row of lashes keeps blowing sand out. Can close tightly during sandstorms. The hump myth: many people think camels store water in their humps, but this is incorrect. The hum stores fat by keeping all their fat in one place on their back. The rest of their body stays thin and cool down faster. When they eat food, the hum get firms. When food is scarce, the hum shrinks and droops. Water conservation. A camel's body is built to save every drop of water They do not sweat until their body temperature reaches a very high level. Their kidneys are highly efficient, meaning they lose every little water when getting rid of waste. Temperature tolerance. A camel's body temperature can rise and fall safely with desert weather, meaning they do not have to waste body water trying to stay at one steady temperature. Next we have the fennec fox, the nocturnal heat evader. The fennec fox is the smallest fox in the world, living in the Sahara Desert. Giant ears. It has the most noticeable feature is its massive ears, which can be up to 50 centimeters long. Their ears are filled with blood vessels that radiate body heat away, acting like a built-in air conditioner to cool the fogs down. Fur-covered paws. The bottoms of their paws are covered in thick fur. This protects them from getting burned when walking on hot desert sand. Nocturnal behavioral. Fennec foxes are nocturnal, meaning they sleep in cool underground burrows during the boiling days and come out to hunt for insects and mice only at night when it is cool. Comparing animal structural versus behavioral traits. To understand how animals survive, scientists divide their traits into what they have, structural versus what they do, behavioral. Quick reference comparison table. Animal habitat, body part, action. Animal: polar bear, emperor penguin, camel, fennec foxes. Habitat: Antarctica, desert. Body part: the thick blubber layer for insulation, stiff scale like flippers for swimming, wide feet to walk easily on sand, huge ears to release body heat. Behavioral adaptation: digging snow dens to protect cubs, huddling together to share body heat, drinking up to 150 liters of water at once, hunting at night. Camouflage and mimicry: many animals use structural coloring to blend or in or trick predators. Camouflage: blending into the background. For example, Arctic foxes turn white in winter to match snow but turn brown in summer to match rocks and dirt. Mimicry: looks like another dangerous animal. For example, the harmless milk snake has a bright red, yellow, and black strips that look exactly like the venomous coral snake, scaring predators away. Next, we have human adaptation, the power of invention. Do you know what is human adaptation? Unlike humans, animals do not have to wait thousands of years for their bodies to change to survive in tough climates. Instead, humans use their large brains and opposable thumbs to create technological and cultural adaptation. This allows humans to live in almost every environment on the earth, from Antarctica to outer space. Human adaptation: shelter and housing, clothing systems, fire and energy. Shelter and housing, HVAC and insulation, clothing systems, spacesuits and parkas, fire and energy, cooking and heating. Advanced clothing systems. Humans do not grow thick fur coats like polar bear. Instead, we invent clothes. Extreme cold: human living in the polar zones invented the parka, a heavy coat originally made by the Inuit people using animal skin and fur. Today, modern science uses synthetic material like the Jortex and down feathers to trap air and keep humans warm down to 50 degrees Celsius. Extreme heat. In deserts, people in the Bedouins wear loose-fitting, long white robes. The loose fabric allows air to circulate around the body, keeping it cool, while the white color reflects the harsh sunlight. Space exploration: astronauts wear spacesuits that act as a miniature pressurized spaceships, supplying oxygen, protecting against radiation, and controlling temperature in the vacuum of space. Climate control shelters: human built structures to block out the natural elements. First one, HVAC systems, heating, ventilation and air conditioner. HVAC allow humans to live comfortably in desert cities like Dubai or freezing environments like Alaska. Next, we have insulation fiberglasses and foam sheets are placed inside home walls to trap warm or cool air inside reducing the energy needed to survive. Agriculture and water piping. Animals must live where food and water naturally exist. Human alter the land to bring resources to them. Irrigation. Canals and pipes carry water of hundred of miles from rivers to grow crops in dry deserts. Greenhouse glasses buildings trap heat, allowing humans to grow fresh vegetables in freezing winter climates. Next, we have biological adaptation and project summary. While humans rely heavily on technology, our bodies have also gone through real biological changes over time to match our environments. High altitude adaptation, living in the mountains. People living in high altitude environments like the Andes mountain of the South America or the Himalayas in Tibet live where the air has very little oxygen. Larger lungs. Over generation, people in these regions have adapted to have wider chest and lungs capacity to take in more air with every breath. Blood changes. Their bodies produce more red blood cells or process oxygen more efficiently, preventing them from getting altitude sickness. Skin pigmentation. Melanin. Human skin color is a direct biological adaptation to solar radiation. High sunlight areas near the equator, human ancestors developed skin with high amounts of melanin. Dark pigment melanin acts as a natural sunscreen, protecting the skin from the dangerous ultraviolet UV rays from the sun. Low sunlight areas, as the human moved north, areas with less sunlight like Europe, their skin adapted to have less melanin, lighter skin. This allow light skin to absorb what little sunlight has available to create vitamin D, which is necessary for strong bones. Summary. Adaptation is the ultimate key to survival on the planet Earth. Animals use evolutionary changes that alter their physical body structural inhabits behavioral. Over long periods, humans use cultural and technological innovation to change their surroundings rather than their bodies, making them the most whispered species on the planet. So friend, this was all about the polar animals and the human adaptation. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.